The place of black people in British history is sometimes thought of as a story that begins with the arrival of the Windrush. In reality, the Windrush is just one chapter in a much longer history. Black people have been living in this country for centuries, and the story of the black presence in the United Kingdom goes back all the way to Roman times. There are people who would rather deny the facts than confront the quite simple, uncontroversial, in my view, reality is that Britain was part of the Roman Empire and the Roman Empire was multiracial. One of the best examples is the Ivory Bangle Lady. She was a middle-class afro-roman living in 4th century York. We know she was African because of the tests that had been done on her remains and because among her possessions was a bracelet made of African ivory. We've marked lots of centenary anniversaries from 1914 to 1918, but there is another set of stories about another year. A year in which black soldiers returned from fighting but were not included in the victory parades. A year of race riots, a year in which a black man was lynched on the streets of a British city. All of that happened in the forgotten year of 1919.
In 1993, Stephen Lawrence was murdered.
Stephen was the firstborn. Yeah, and I remember when I was pregnant, I wanted to have a son, so I was more than over the moon when Stephen was born. As a baby, he had a temperament, Stephen did, you know. That hasn't changed while he was growing up. He was determined. He knew exactly what he wanted. He was very creative. He loved drawing. He took part in all the sports that happened in school. He took part in the mini marathon back in '88.
For the British public, the Stephen Lawrence story begins in southeast London on April 22nd, 1993. The events of that evening and their aftermath would change the face of race relations in Britain.
The word nigger is used at the scene, and it's a sad fact that in anything else called a racist murder, people look around for other explanations. It's a defense mechanism, I think, among white people to say, oh, well, there must be some other explanation, or there must be some qualifying factors. Here, there are no qualifying factors. They attack this young man because he's black. Everything points to that.
And in 1998, a public inquiry was undertaken by William MacPherson. This became known as the MacPherson Report. In MacPherson's report, he made several recommendations.
The MacPherson inquiry would become the watershed moment in British race relations history.
Sir Paul Comden arrived for a furious battle of wills over just how racist his force is.
It exposed the Met, and in particular its first investigation into Stephen's murder, as institutionally racist.
And I think she went through the inquiry almost saying, I told you so, I told you so. Look, this is what was happening, and I knew it all along.
The crucial thing about the institutional racism is that there was a collective failure of the police, as we called it, a collective failure. Almost every decision that should have been made didn't get made. If it did get made, there weren't records of it. And if there were records of it, their decisions were wrong.
One of them was that the police should have individuals in the community that they worked in partnership with. This became known as the Independent Advisory Group. Where are the independent advisory groups today? My name is Claudine Dewberry, and I am the founder of the Independent Advisory Groups. Once again, I ask, where are the independent advisory groups today? The Independent Advisory Groups was established in 2000. That's 20 years ago. And we worked as that bridge between the community and the police. We were able to question the actions of the police. We were able to be the voice of the community. Where is the independent advisory groups? Where are they today? Recently, we've seen several incidents within London. We've seen young people being tasered. We've seen older people being tasered. We've seen 3 youths shot in the London Borough of Haringey. We've seen operations undertaken in the London Borough of Enfield. We've seen operations undertaken in the London Borough of Lewisham. We've seen operations undertaken in the London Borough of Lambeth. Where is the voice of the Independent Advisory Group? Who are they? Are they speaking on your behalf? Do they know what your concerns are? Do you know where to find them? Today, I'm calling on every community member from the Black and ethnic minority group, as they like to refer to us as, to go out and find who are the chair sitting at the Independent Advisory Group. Are they speaking on your behalf? Do they know what your concerns are? Are they representing your community? And if not, why not? And if not, how can you challenge them to those seats? Or how can you just get a seat on the Independent Advisory Group? I would like to ask every member of our community to go out and find who are the Independent Advisory Group in your community, in your borough, in your neighbourhood. Do they have your support? Are they speaking with your voice? My name's Claudine Dewberry, and I'm CEO of Taking Positive Steps Foundation and the founder of the Independent Advisory Groups.